After reading through the domains of SCARF, I looked at the domain of status as the one that I wanted to address on this discussion question. So, what the scenario was is that I had been working at a university or institution for about 3 years, and there was some changes that occurred where my direct supervisor was let go. And at that time, there was talks of not refilling that position. So I took on the responsibilities of my supervisor as well as my other responsibilities. The structure of my institution was where there was a director that had like a dotted line to the campus president as well as to a higher up vice president of the operating systems of the institutions. We were one of several campuses. And so he was used to working where whatever he needed, he went to the higher up vice president and got, and the campus president had to oblige. So when time went on, I ended up getting promoted and they ended up re-establishing my supervisor's position and gave me the position, even though I've been doing the position. And so with that gave me more status and responsibility, and whatever I said on certain things dealing with financial aid and with students would be what would be go. And our director of admissions would always try to negate my authority level when it came to making decisions. He would like to belittle and do different things to attack my character in order to get what he wanted. He was very much a numbers-driven person. He was definitely dominant when it came to the disc. And where we clashed was because I was CD. So I'm dominant as well in some aspects. So where our personalities are very strong and about meeting challenges and meeting expectations and taking on new challenges, we conflicted because his mind was whatever it took to get the goal. And I looked at reaching the goal, but making sure that everyone was able to be successful and helping the institution overall. He was really just focused on his goals. So I remember there was an instance where I made a decision on a student and he went to the third person in charge of our operating systems to override me over this one student. And my emotions, I was younger at that time and I learned a lot about maturity level. I was really upset. I was angry. I really wanted to go into his office and tell him about himself. I really was upset because I always respected everyone, and feeling the continued disrespect really upset me. But I've learned as being a leader that a lot of times less is more. Without saying things, without moving things, let your actions show who you are. So when we had a meeting, I stayed there and I kind of didn't react. I mean, I did have a reaction when it first happened, but I stepped back and actually told him I apologized for my reaction. And it's satisfying to him that I apologized. But I went on to say, I apologize for my reaction, but my decision stands. And I let him react. And he reacted very emotional, very unprofessional in that meeting. And it was a meeting with the campus president and a conference call also with those higher ups. And he pretty much showed what he had been doing as a director on our campus. And so the outcome was that they supported my decision. He was reprimanded for not respecting my decision. And he lost favorable sight in the eyes of the leadership. They saw kind of what had been said by others of his behavior and how he disrespected other leaders and how they operated. And so I learned that a lot of times you have to be quiet. Not saying not stand firmly on what you believe, but you really do have to take the emotion out of it. If I had kept going on back and forth with him, arguing with him, throwing my weight around, saying I made this decision, which it was the truth, I had the decision to make. And what I said, long as I had the supporting documentation to prove it, was stand. And I did. But also, too, always being right does not mean that you always have to fight your way to let everybody understand you're right. Sometimes people will show themselves. And if you let them show themselves, They'll prove you right all along.